Okay, so let's get into the 264. Obviously, the McGregor fight. There is a lot of controversy and some fallout that's going to happen from it.
A lot of crying coming from McGregor.
Yeah, well, there's some people that are going to get in trouble, I think.
Yeah, I mean they should anyway.
Um,
Ultimately, it's McGregor's decision, but I mean he should
it's
not have
not
been.
though.
It,
They so it's
if they
against.
allow it to be McGregor's decision, it's McGregor's decision, but they should not have allowed it to be McGregor's decision in this case.
So the UFC doctors knew that he had the fractures. Dana White knew. Somebody else, I don't remember who else knew. They did not divulge that information to the Nevada Athletic Commission,
Okay,
and that's where the problem comes.
gotcha.
They withheld that information from them, and they're the ones that would have put a. Basically, they said we're going to throw you out there for that $3 million, and
Yeah,
McGregor signed up for it. He said, "Okay,
yep.
I want the money."
Why does he want the money though?
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. Then
I think he
it
just
makes a lot.
wanted
It doesn't make a lot of sense, really. But
his motivation was to beat Dustin Poirier. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the.
yeah,
It was just to beat up Dustin Poirier because they got a lot of fucking shit between them right now, which doesn't make any sense either. Because after the first fight, they were all, or after the second fight, they were all buddy buddy, and then shit went south real quick.
I don't know, but I know that uh, Dana White is probably going to get in trouble from this. McGregor might even. Well, I don't know that he would get in trouble, but because he's going to say he would have went no matter what. I mean, any other fighter that isn't a multi $400 million guy would have said, "I'm going no
Oh
matter
yeah,
what."
yep,
So they wouldn't hold McGregor to a different standard just because he has money.
no,
So it wouldn't be up to him to make that call. It should have been the doctors, UFC doctors, and Dana White
yeah. The
to make the right call.
head
You have the
doctor
name?
is Jeffrey Davidson, Doctor Jeffrey Davidson.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be him and Dana that. I mean, is it possible that they even lose their jobs over this?
I doubt that. Maybe the doctor. Dana White's not. He's not going nowhere. Um, I would guess that it's going to be a big, hefty fine
Yeah,
from the Nevada Athletic Commission. And they may start putting you know, stricter tests
I think
and stuff like that.
every state should have their own doctor being looking at these guys instead of just taking the UFC's word for it.
Well, I believe they do,
Okay,
but my guess would be they come in and do a physical and not x-rays.
gotcha,
And
gotcha.
that's just my guess. I have no idea. Uh, so Tom Brady played all year last year with what, a torn MCL,
Yeah, partially torn,
fully
I believe.
partially torn MCL, played all year, should have had surgery on it and been out for the whole year.
Yep.
But I mean, because he's not a super mobile guy, basically his doctors just withheld that information from Tampa Bay and went on with their business. So when he went in for his physical, unless they suspect something, they're not going to take x-rays of every part of your body,
Yeah.
or MRIs. That
So I
would be an
mean,
MRI, but
yeah, just right here in these two different athletes, we have both ends of the very high risk, very high reward, spectrum.
exactly.
And
Tom Brady didn't want to be laid up for a year, and at 43 years old, who would have wanted him?
yeah,
He would not have got that
especially coming
cushy
off,
Bucks job.
yeah, especially coming off the year that he had, his last year in New
Yeah, he threw
England.
the last play, he threw a pick six.
Yeah.
His last play of the year. That's what everybody would have remembered for a whole year. So it was definitely worth the risk reward. I mean, Tom Brady's was. McGregor's makes no sense, honestly.
It makes less sense, but it's still
even worse is he couldn't keep himself from kicking.
Yeah. Yep.
And I guess, some of that could just be muscle memory and how they're doing stuff. And he broke it. I mean, he had stress fractures because that's how he was training.
Mm-hmm.
And if you train with lots of kicks, then you're expected to go out there and fight with lots of kicks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know any other way to do it or any other way to explain that. You spend 6 months training one certain way, it would be awfully hard to pull a 180 at the last minute.
Yeah. Yep.
Even if you wanted to, your brain, I don't know that your brain would.
Yeah, like you said, the muscle memory thing, it's just it's embedded at that point. So the way I like, or I try to look at this type of stuff, is at the end of the day, the only person that really has to live with the consequences of an athlete's decision is the athlete himself. So, I mean, we could sit here and bash Tom Brady and Conor McGregor for making these decisions all day, but at the end of the day, Tom Brady got a ring out of it, and Conor McGregor broke his leg, and that in no way affects me. So it's whatever.
I mean, you're right, but sometimes you have to protect the athlete from themselves.
I completely agree. But a broken leg is not like a concussion where.
No, you're right about that for sure. And it was stress fractures. It wasn't even fully broken.
Yeah. Yeah, stress fractures are just tiny, tiny stuff, but I mean, it obviously it did weaken
it. And it can weaken your bones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just I've been thinking about this story all day, been stewing over it. I don't even know what to think of it, honestly.
I don't either.
I think you're the same boat. I just if you're listening to this and you got something to say about it, talk, message us.
Yes, please.
This is just a wild story. And I don't want to be a McGregor apologist. Like I'm a McGregor fan, so it looks bad that I'm sitting here saying this stuff, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know any other way to discuss the topic. You're not a McGregor fan, and so I feel like we have slightly different views on it, but really it's the same outcome.
Yep. It's just crazy. Pivoting off that McGregor story, do you see Jake Paul come out and say this week that McGregor needs him a lot more than he needs McGregor? As far as this is in reference to a potential fight when McGregor gets healthy.
I love the idea of
I do too, honestly.
Him fighting a boxer or anybody, really.
I love the idea of McGregor getting in the ring, a boxing ring with Jake Paul as like a final payday, final fight type deal. I don't know if that's what it would actually be, but I love the idea. I don't know if that's what it would actually
be, but I love the idea of him going back to boxing. I feel like this injury is similar to what Silva happened to Silva.
It is.
And I'm not sure that his leg he took steroids, and I don't know that his leg ever really came back. I'm pretty sure he was heavy on steroids too. He wasn't like lightly taking these.
I mean, I don't think we can discount the age at that point, but I mean, he was obviously never the same after that.
No, you're right. You're right about that too. Was he that much older than McGregor though? 32. McGregor's 32.
I don't know.
Did you see that Jake Paul had a chain with a pendant depicting McGregor from his knockout from the second fight?
No.
Well, he sent that to Dustin Poirier, and Poirier is going to auction it off for charity.
Nice.
Yeah. We got some other news in UFC too while you're looking that up. Alexander Volkanovski is going to face Brian Ortega, and Valentina Shevchenko is going to face Lauren Murphy. That's September 25th, UFC 266. 2 title fights.
Okay, so Silva was 38 when he broke his leg.
Oh, yeah, that's 6 years older.
Yep.
I think McGregor's, he's 33 now, right?
Yeah, 33. He was like, I think his birthday was 2 or 3 days off from that fight. So
yeah, so 33. 5 years different, probably. I mean, everybody heals different, but I just feel like if he wants to extend his career for the next 6 years, boxing's the way to do it.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
Without a doubt. I mean, we even saw it with Silva. He just won his boxing debut.
Exactly.
You know, this is almost 10 years after he breaks his leg. So,
I know. Yeah, I like the idea of him going to boxing. Jake Paul, if Pacquiao wants to come out, Mayweather too. There's lots of good fights for him in boxing.
Yep.
That aren't people that are going to take his head off either.
Yep.
I mean, Jake Paul would be the one out of any of them that would lay him out if there was one.
Logan and Jake would be the most dangerous.
Yeah, whatever, whichever one. But
well, I believe Logan is bigger. Logan is the one that fought Mayweather. And I believe he is bigger than Jake. I know he's older than Jake, but I believe he's also bigger.
I think Jake is the better one.
Jake is probably the better boxer, but I believe Logan has the more knockout power.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that.
Isn't Jake the one that took out Nate, or not Nate Diaz, but
Ben Askren, yes.
Ben Askren, but didn't he also take out little NBA guy?
Nate Robinson?
Yes.
Yeah. But,
That
I mean, the dude never should have been in the ring at the same time. I mean, come on. And Ben Askren was an over-the-hill wrestler with a weak chin, so I don't give him much credit for any of those.